Hi, I'm Brent, and I'm sitting here at home upstairs, and you might hear some noise here and there. My family, my large family, is doing their stuff here at home, but I wanted to take a few minutes to share the most important message that I know to share with any of my friends, my acquaintances, and my loved ones. In fact, you may be watching this because I may have directed you to a site where this message is. So if you'll indulge me for a few minutes, I'll try to very quickly walk you through this message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm going to call it the good news because that's what the word gospel means. I have my little laptop here in front of me, so if I look down every once in a while, that's what I'm looking at. I'll try to flash up some of these slides onto the screen as I walk through this. First of all, I wanted to just make a few comments on my motivation here. It is not a sales pitch. Somebody who loves Jesus doesn't see sharing the gospel as gaining points or trying to somehow trick someone into believing something or attaining so many people to agree with you. But I will say it is my deep desire that this truth that has meant so much to me and has transformed me transform as many of the people I care about and the people that God cares about as possible. So it's not that this is not consequential. It's the most consequential message, I think, in the history of the earth. So it's important that we respond. Every human being respond to it one way or another. It's the message of one hungry beggar telling another where to find bread in order to live. It's a message I have desperately needed and gives me life. And it's a life-giving message for you, too. This is a slide that I use to actually share the very basics of all God's teaching in the Word of God to my children. And I'll just use this briefly to give a context. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. We could spend hours on this, but we won't. First of all, God is holy. This brick on the bottom left, God is holy. That means He's perfect. He is utterly perfect. And nothing coming from Him is imperfect. If we could observe His perfection at all with this soul and these eyes, we would cease to exist. The perfection is so bright and so awesome. He is very holy. Because He is holy, He is just. Because He is perfect, He rewards what is right and He punishes what is wrong. And that's what justice is. Let's move over to the bottom right. God is love, His word says. He has a desire to demonstrate benevolence to every creature, regardless of the cost to Him. So that's love. And because He is love, He desires to extend mercy, the second brick there. Those who are in a plight, those who are in difficulty, He desires to express that love in such a way that He might rescue them and genuinely help them. So He has mercy because of His love. Now we have two things here. Because He is just, He must punish what is evil. And we've all committed sin and therefore deserve punishment. So He desires to extend mercy to us, but He has to satisfy His justice at the same time. So that's why this brick on top that extends over all these bricks is called grace, unmerited favor. If it were on the base of merits, we would all go to hell. because God has to execute justice. But in his mercy, he paid the price on the cross. He actually satisfied justice by taking the punishment himself so that he could show mercy to us and save our souls. So that's what this kind of slide shows, all in one picture. We're going to get a little more into depth as we go through the slides that are up ahead. Okay, so what's the crime? God's moral law reflects his holiness and has been established for all beings to abide by in happiness. We all have the moral law of God written in our hearts. Every human being of every culture, of every time, has this sense of ought, has this sense of what's right and what's wrong. We may have different expressions of it, we may have different applications of it, but every one of us has a sense of what is right and what is wrong, and we have that in our hearts. God put it there. That's why we are all moral beings. However, even whatever version of morality that we kind of build upon, that sense of right and wrong, every one of us is guilty of actually breaking that moral law that we understand. So that's the second point. We have willfully transgressed God's holy law and instead have pursued our own desires. In essence, the antithesis of pursuing God's ways are to pursue our own ways. And that's why this slide off to the left has I, or myself, at the center of my own heart instead of God. In our hearts, we have dethroned God from his rightful preeminence and made ourselves our own gods. This is the pride and sin that Satan had when he tried to attain to the throne of God, or above the throne of God, and God threw him as well as a third of the angels down in punishment. And that is how we know him as Satan. At that time, he was Lucifer. Our sin, however, is not just a one-time act or just the state of being. We prove our sin over and over by the choices that we make. We are moral beings, so we have choices, and we choose wrong continuously. We on a daily basis, do things that our own conscience accuses us of. So our sin is a constant affront to the one and holy God. Our sin blinds us then to the truth. So the more we sin, the less light we see. Sin is a type of darkness, and we see the truth or the light less and less, and the horrible unrighteousness that we embrace actually starts to look normal to us. But in this process, we are embracing something that is very offensive to God, our Maker. So this is the crime that we've committed. In Romans 3:23 it says, all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. In Isaiah 53 it says, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way. And Romans 1 says, although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God, nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile, and their foolish hearts were darkened. So this is our state, and this is why we deserve hell.